Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever thought about taking a passion, maybe a hobby you absolutely love, and transforming it into something that actually pays the bills, something that really thrives,
Or maybe you're already doing it.
right? Maybe you're already there, but
Yeah.
you're wondering, am I really getting the most out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving deep into this really fascinating roundtable discussion. It was hosted by Buddy Mueller, and the big question they tackled was, what really separates a DJ who just plays music from one who's running a full-fledged, like, professional business?
Yeah, and this deep dive, it brings together voices from, well, all over the country, really. Experienced DJs, Chicagoland, California, New York, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio.
Wow, quite the spread.
Exactly. And they're sharing their, real experiences, the challenges, the insights they've gained. We're basically going to pull out the most important nuggets for anyone thinking about making that leap.
Or even just wanting to professionalize what they're already doing. Right.
Precisely. Getting more serious about their craft.
And our insights for this deep dive, they come straight from that conversation. It was pretty unvarnished, covered everything from, the mindset shift you need to financial planning, legal stuff, marketing, the works.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
So Buddy Mueller started that roundtable with a pretty direct question. He asked, are you a business, and are you in business to make money, or are you just playing? Kind of puts it right out there, doesn't it?
It really does. And what's interesting is the analogy they use in the discussion. Are you just going in a pool and splashing around, or are you like an actual swimmer?
Huh. I like that. Splashing versus swimming.
Right. And they were clear. There's nothing wrong with being a hobbyist. Lots of great DJs start there. But understanding which one you are, that's the crucial first step. It basically dictates everything else.
And that perspective shift, it changes everything, doesn't it? How you approach buying gear, taking gigs.
Even marketing yourself.
Exactly. It all changes once you decide, okay, I'm building a business. A hobbyist might, buy some gear, do a cheap gig, maybe not really focus on the money side, perhaps grab a $200 speaker for Costco, as they put it.
Right. Just getting started, having fun.
But a business owner, even part-time, they're aiming to make money to pay bills, maybe pay yourself, definitely buy new gear, and crucially, grow the business.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional.
Yeah, intentionality and thinking about return on investment.
So once you make that distinction, hobbyist or business, the next big question is, well, how do you actually make that leap? We heard from several DJs who've gone through it, navigated that transition from a regular job to focusing fully or just more professionally on their DJ work. Their stories were pretty interesting.
They really were. You've got Jeff, for example. He retired from TV, does DJing part-time now. But, and this is key, he treats it 100% professionally.
Yep.
He's all about under-promising, over-delivering, gets like 95% of his gigs just from word of mouth.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. And he says he's happy just making enough to cover his gear addiction. So it shows, professional doesn't have to mean full-time. It's a mindset.
A commitment to quality.
Exactly. Then there's Drain. He retired from his 9 to 5, said he started to not enjoy going to work.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
For sure. He saw potential in DJing, good paying gigs, realized he could make more money by walking away and retiring.
So he made the jump.
Yep. Now he calls DJing his splurge money, compares it to like an athlete that gets paid for playing something that they'll be doing anyway.
Interesting take.
And Buddy Mueller himself, the host of the roundtable, he shared his own story from 2008. His company was being sold. He had a choice: find another corporate job or really lean into his DJ business, which was kind of on the edge of growing bigger.
So he chose DJing.
He did. Hasn't looked back. Said his business income now beats his old corporate salary.
Fantastic.
And one more Joe. Aerospace engineer for 32 years. Started DJing after getting married, then retired officially in 2010 to take his DJ business to the next level.
Wow. Aerospace engineer to DJ. That's quite a shift. And that mindset shift from employee to business owner, it sounds huge. Dwayne mentioned liking being the boss, setting his own time, more grind. But is that the full picture? Being the boss?
Well, that's a great point because, yeah, you're your own boss for scheduling, for your workflow. But the real boss, as they pointed out in the discussion, it's always the customer.
Right. They're the ones paying the bills.
Exactly. Without them, no business. And that changes everything compared to an employee mindset. Every decision, time management, gear investment, it gets filtered through. Like client satisfaction, client retention.
Which definitely includes being ready for the financial side of being your own boss.
Absolutely.
A big piece of advice that came up repeatedly from these pros was savings. before going full-time, having at least 6 months of bills saved up.
Yeah, that buffer.
Buddy Mueller shared that his rainy day fund was absolutely critical. It's what got his business through 2020 when he only had like 5 gigs all year.
Oof, yeah. That really drives home the need for that financial foresight, especially when you don't have that steady paycheck anymore.
Total.
And what really stood out listening to them was this constant emphasis on professionalism. Didn't matter if they were full-time,
It
part-time.
was about how they operated.
Exactly. How you represent yourself, your service, from every angle.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's that whole professional identity. Jeff getting 95% word of mouth. That shows how much how you represent yourself matters for the long haul, way beyond just booking the next event.
Right. Reputation is huge.
And investing wisely came up too. Not just buying things to buy things. Joe mentioned selling his controllers every 4 or 5 years because the tech changes so fast.
Keeps things current.
Right. And Buddy stressed investing in things that actually help your business grow, like a good microphone so you sound clear. Or maybe a fancy LED booth like DJ Crossfire is known for, or a video DJ setup like Jeff or Buddy use. Right? If you have the gigs to justify it, you need to see that return.
Which brings us to another key strategy. Diversification. Growing beyond just playing music. Chris, the guy balancing IT and DJing, he's done this really well.
Oh, yeah. What's he added?
He's added foam parties and even a miniature golf system.
Whoa, okay. Phone parties and mini golf.
Yeah. He had this great analogy. He said his IT job is the sprinkles on the icing. Foam parties are the berry on top.
Yeah.
And mini golf, that's going to be the extra income.
I love that.
And he sees it all as a professional for-profit thing. Reinvests everything back into the business. Shows real entrepreneurial thinking.
Definitely. And beyond the services, there's that crucial, maybe less glamorous side. Legal and structure. Joe, the former engineer.
Yeah, very methodical.
He really hammered home getting a business license, thinking about an LLC or S Corp, maybe even trademarking your name. He trademarked the professional disc jockeys. Wished he'd done it all sooner.
Yeah, learning the hard way. And that legal structure, it's not just for show, right? It's protection. They even got into the weeds comparing LLCs and S Corp.
How so?
Well, an LLC gives you that liability protection, separates personal assets. But an S Corp, they said, can offer even more separation, though it's usually more complex, more expensive, might need a board, formal meetings.
So more involved.
Right. And they cleared up that CEO thing, too. If you're a sole proprietor, you're typically the owner or president, not really a CEO unless you've got, like, a board and shares.
Good clarification.
A key piece of advice was maybe separating different services, like put your photo booth under one legal entity, DJ services under another, to protect assets if something goes wrong with one part.
That makes sense. Spreading the risk.
But the bottom line from all of them, talk to a lawyer. Every state's different. Getting that expert advice up front saves you a lot of headaches down the road, as they put it. And Sean, the guy with the business degree who moved his business, he was strategic. Set up his website, Google listing, even took bookings before the move.
Smart planning.
Yeah, that dual background DJing from his dad's company, plus the business management degree, clearly gave him a leg up.
Still, even with all that planning, sounds like challenges pop up. Chris admitted his biggest struggle is self-promotion, marketing.
Yeah.
Especially social media.
Yeah, he said it takes 10 times positive just to negate a negative. That's tough.
It really is. And Brenly, another full-timer, felt the same. Said he had to really push himself to throwing it all out there online. Basically told himself, you don't do this, you're going to starve.
Wow, that puts the pressure on. Shows how personal and, vulnerable that marketing side can feel.
Totally. Which leads to, what about this stuff people don't always see? The hidden realities of running your own show. And, who do you lean on?
That's a huge question. Because it's clear, turning passion into a business, it takes massive dedication. Sounds way more demanding than a regular 9-to-5 sometimes.
That came through loud and clear.
Absolutely. Both Dwayne and Brenly agreed full-time DJing often means working more hours than we actually do working the 9-to-5 gig.
More hours.
Yeah. And Mike, Dwayne's partner, threw in no sick days, no personal days.
Oof. It really is a lifestyle.
It is. It's your identity. Brenly spends one whole 8-hour day a week just on music research, staying current.
That's dedication.
And he, Joe, Sean, they all stressed going to conferences like Midwest DJs Live, networking, always learning. They had this great line, to be a great teacher, you must be a good student.
Love that. Constant learning.
And the emotional side, it can be intense. Sean shared how painful it was watching the business he'd sold back in Wisconsin just nosedive off a cliff under the new owners, after he'd poured his blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Oh, man. That's got to be heartbreaking. Losing something you built like that. It really shows it's way more than just a job for these folks.
Absolutely. The emotional stake is huge. It's passion, identity, years of hard work, and that kind of commitment. It needs a rock-solid support system.
Right? You can't do it alone.
No way. The discussion really highlighted how crucial partners, family, a good professional network are, especially for handling the admin, the finances, lots of them, like Buddy and his wife Tracy, Sean with his wife and parents, Joe with his wife and daughter. They rely on family.
That makes sense. Having people you trust.
Yeah, and people with expertise. Sean, Brenly, Buddy's wife Tracy, Joe's daughter, they all have business degrees. That insight is invaluable. The advice was basically, if you don't have the skill set yourself, find someone who does. Ask someone who has a degree, or people you really trust. Don't try to wear all the hats.
That's solid advice. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here?
I think the big message from this whole deep dive is pretty clear. Whether you're full-time or part-time, it comes down to asking yourself, do you truly treat your DJing like a business?
Meaning proper planning, smart investment.
Sound legal structure, unwavering dedication to professionalism. That's the key to growth, to sticking around.
Yeah, longevity.
It's about making that conscious choice and then really embracing the hard work. Joe put it perfectly. Starting a business is hard. Working a 9-to-5 is hard. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. I like that.
And Brenly added, for him, failure is not an option. That's commitment, passion, just relentlessly pursuing excellence.
So we've explored this really cool journey, passion to profession, all the different hats a DJ wears, artist, entrepreneur, maybe CEO, maybe owner. Thinking beyond DJing now, what other passions maybe that you have might be ready for that kind of transformation? And if you were to take that leap, what's the very first business decision you'd make to get started?